Haven't seen you in a
Is
long
everybody?
time.
No, I haven't seen you in a while either.
Yeah, how have you been?
I've been fun actually. I'm about to go to college. I'm just finishing up my financial aid, and I'm also finishing up the assessments. AKA, I'm pretty much essentially in college
Uh-huh.
at this point. And
That's fantastic.
um, I'm sorry, it's just that I haven't really had much internet connection ever since March, and I think I'm going to get it this week or next week, very, very soon though. So it should be very. So my internet drought should end very, very soon.
Hello, humans.
Hey, it's good to see you both
Uh-oh.
again. It's really good.
Yeah.
There's a non-human among us.
Oh,
Ah.
help me.
So this is being recorded, just so that you all know,
Oh, okay.
in case you say anything profound.
Oh,
Yeah, that's all good.
Ah. I'm doing this Hangout on Air thing, and honestly, I don't really know what I'm doing.
wow. We need.
I'm still trying to figure it out.
Let's see. Go into your command prompt and
Oh,
type
shut up.
help Hangouts. I made that up. That doesn't exist.
Um, let's see what's happening with Brendan.
Hey,
Here she says getting on
Brandon.
now.
Hey, Brandon.
He's getting on now. He's not on yet.
Oh. So who's in here?
It's just you, me, and Jorge. I had contacted a couple of other
Sounded a
people,
bit
and
like Wilson Schwamm for some reason.
I want to get into chat and see who's in there. Unfortunately, Kira was having their crisis.
Is somebody
with her
going to
parents,
show up today? Anybody important?
so. No, just
Aww.
us chickens. The purpose of this hangout is to see if we can get people talking about what they felt like when they realized that there was nothing wrong with them. The first time you saw the words
Oh
on
yeah.
school survival, there's
Oh
nothing
yeah.
wrong with you.
You
I mean,
mean the
that's
breakthrough moment?
basically
Yeah, I get that.
yeah, because I don't know if it was seeing those words, that's sort of the metaphor, but what you felt like before and how you felt after. This is for our first podcast, and I think that we have to really start from the beginning when we talk about school survival and Catalyst. It's uh, where did you start out? How did you feel? What kind of experiences were you having? And then sort of the lifting of the fog into the realization that it wasn't actually you. Now, for me, it happened when I was 40 years old. Until I was 40, I knew I was smart and I knew I was capable and I had a lot of accomplishments. But I didn't know that the reason I didn't do well in school was not due to my failings, that it was due to the failings of school. So I feel like you guys are lucky. You have a leg up on me. I mean, I was able to do things in my life, but I wasn't able to pinpoint the problem. So it doesn't really matter if we have a lot of people in the hangout. In fact, it's almost better. But think about that and think about how you can sort of verbalize, go back to that and see if you can sort of uh, express in some way that people can understand what the before and after was kind of like for you. So whoever
Can
would
I
like
ask
to
a,
start.
yeah, I volunteered.
Sure, Jorge can go first.
For
Jorge?
me, yeah, I'll go. For me, I was the
Nice to meet
first
you.
one to realize,
Oh, hi, Brandon.
yeah, welcome,
Is Brendan here?
welcome.
Oh, there. Now I
Sounds
can
like.
hear.
Okay.
Wow.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
I was gonna
So Jorge
say,
is,
yeah, let me
go
speak.
on.
So to say the least, when it came to finding out what was wrong or what wasn't wrong, and what happened with me was it wasn't necessarily just one moment where I immediately realized, oh, this is all wrong. For me, it was more of a process. Like you could say it began as far back as 7 years ago, back in 2008, when I was in middle school, and I was experiencing so much turbulence during that time. and it's very well documented. But there were just slow tidbits where I realized, this kind of stuff doesn't work for me. Like in 2013, I realized, this stuff is boring and senile. And as the months passed by, I began realizing, there is a lot of fucked up concepts that are going on around here. I'm sorry for my French, excuse it, but there are a lot of messed up concepts, and and I
Don't
started
worry.
seeing things from a more sociological point of view, and I try to also see things from a rational point of view, logical point of view, all these point of views, and I realized, what the heck is going on here? I mean, it sort of got to a point where in factory model schooling, you realize that there is at times an absolute blur between image and reality, and it just didn't, and that's sort of, and just like slowly, it's sort of like a puzzle. I started
Yeah.
solving a puzzle, and that's how I got here. And I keep
Yeah.
learning. I keep learning.
How
Keep
can you
learning.
describe? I know that you've probably documented this pretty well on the forums, but can you describe what your feelings were like through the course of a day when before you really started realizing that it wasn't you, that was crazy, it was the system?
Yeah, I would describe that as self-loathing, confusion, and actually,
Self-loathing.
yeah. And one thing looking back at it, was I had basically fulfilled a self-fulfilling prophecy. I had believed that I was less than other people.
Less in,
However,
less in
I
what way?
really wasn't.
Yeah.
I was less than, but yeah, I believed in middle school. I believed I was less than, and by doing that, I basically was less than. I had fulfilled
Yeah.
my own prophecy. It wasn't a positive prophecy, to say the least. Not at all.
So less in what way? How is that manifesting?
How does that manifest?
Yeah, how did it manifest to you? How did it come to you that you were less smart, less able to be social, less?
Because I was literally the pariah of the entire school. Like, I was literally the entire freaking pariah. Like, every time I tried to talk to somebody or anything, people would just ignore me. Like, I was literally hated on for no reason, other than I guess I was one of those kids that was supposed to be hated on. I mean, and I also had to get all these tutors, which I didn't really need. And at the time, I mean, looking back at it, most of my symptoms more resembled that of ADHD, and it was just, good God. And it's just like, when you just have all that crap coming towards you, you really do think you're less than, when in reality, it's just that the system fucks over some people.
So you weren't getting into, how was your learning process when you were in classes and you were given stuff to learn? Were you able to do that, or were you finding you were struggling with actually the classwork?
Learning process.
Oh, shut up. You know what I mean.
Sorry. Yeah, I know that. But what happened was that, this is especially a problem in middle school, and even today, is that I'll just be completely bored, and I won't even pay attention to a goddamn thing. I'll just go off in my mind. I'll go off into my little own universe with my own little obsessions, and 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 that's what happened with me all the time. I just dozed off every day of my life. I was just dozing off. I was never paying attention, and honestly, it was just apathy. It was pure apathy.
Because of how you perceived yourself being treated by the people around you. Was that part of it, that you're not gonna? Yeah.
It was completely part of that. It was just absolute. Oh.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I just when.
Did we lose him? I think we lost him.
Yeah, I think we did.
Yep, looks like
He'll be back up.
Oh, there was some good stuff in there. So let's see. Kyle, since you're joining us, here he is. He's back.
Sorry. I'm sorry. It was just a brief disconnect.
That's all right.
That might be a problem. But what I was going to say was
Well,
that,
you had some good stuff there.
well,
You were talking about
yeah, to finish what I was,
how you felt it in the before times, in the dark times.
yeah, to finish off what I was saying, there's only a special kind of apathy you have once you've reached rock bottom. It's
Oh,
the
yeah.
kind of and it's the kind of apathy where I actually experienced this back in November, where I actually at one point decided I didn't even know if reality was actually real. I just decided, well, this is reality. I don't give a shit about it, and I'm just gonna act like an ass because reality sucks.
That's interesting. Somebody in our chat yesterday was saying that he was a bully. He was a bully in school because the same doing really badly, and laugh at it. So I could see sort of the stepping back. I'm not a part of this community. I'm not invested in this community, so I'm just going to let everybody know what I think of them. So there's another way of reacting to that,
exactly.
by
That's
completely
actually
stepping
exactly
out.
Yeah, that's exactly how I describe it. Like, you don't actually feel part of them. You feel like you're an outsider. You feel more like an outlaw. And I'm sorry for another 1990s hip-hop reference that I'm going to throw out. I remember Tupac Shakur said that the reason he was obsessed with thug life and the reason he called himself a thug was not because he actually thought he was a gangster. He never joined a gang. He was never a gangbanger. But what he believed in was he was an outlaw. He was against conformity. He was against, this mass society. He was basically an antagonist. And that's sort of the mentality I think some bullies and some people in school have. They have this antagonistic outlaw mentality against conformity. But it is misplaced. It's a special kind of catharsis.
Yeah. Was there anything that got your attention and got your interest that actually was happening in your classes at that time?
Oh yes, I've definitely had classes. I've had classes throughout the years where I was completely and totally engaged, and where I actually did feel like I was contributing to something. I'll admit there were some classes which felt less than a class and felt more like just a bunch of dudes come together and just chill. It's a pretty fun vibe, I'll admit. I do enjoy classes a lot.
But that was after middle school, yeah?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So you were able to once in a while find that you really kind of were part of something.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So now what are you doing?
I don't know what I'm doing exactly. I mean,
give
that's a good question.
Give us the rundown.
I'm about to enter college. I'm attempting to major in sociology, but I really want to study psychology and music production because I've absolutely fallen in love with music. I guess I'm sort of trying to expand. I actually have a lot of pen pals now. In fact, just today I received a letter from Poland. And
wow.
Yeah, I also have some strange obsession with Poland. I don't know why.
Wow.
I might be Polish.
Weird.
But yeah, I definitely want to visit Poland and Germany next year, and Guatemala on that. Next year, if I have the fun, solo. But, and yeah, I'm just basically trying to sort of expand my own mind, and I'm basically entering that post-graduation stage. It's actually quite exciting.
It's actually what?
It's actually quite exciting.
Cool. Well, that's great. We don't have Brendan anymore. I was going to ask if he had any questions.
Where did he go?
No, I'm here.
Oh, there you are.
Good.
I've been here.
Good.
Do you have anything questions to add to that for Jorge?
Let's see.
We'll take that as not really.
Well, I mean, I guess there's a question of how to explain, or how to, like, if we're gonna adapt this into, like, some kind of podcast or similar output. It's like how to tell a story, how to tell the story of each person, like, or how they, to help them tell it. So,
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like I'm just thinking of like different, like there are different threads on the forums.
Well, I imagine we'll get what we can and sort of piece it together,
Right.
and maybe it will be one larger story rather than the individual stories.
Right.
What I get from Jorge was the sense of the apathy. When you're not part of something, you're just apathetic to everything that's happening around you. That was pretty powerful.
Yeah.
And you also had a real reaction against the whole special ed concept and what that was doing to you and to your ability to sort of think and function.
Oh yeah, I think.
When did that get started?
When did it all start?
When did you start to think about what was happening to you as a result of special ed?
I actually started thinking about it more like in hindsight, like around.
Uh-huh.
I think it was around 2014 where I realized, maybe some of these tactics aren't working. Maybe there just might be a better way. And at that point, I just sort of realized, what the heck have I been going through for the past few years? And I'm like, what kind of logic does this operate on? And it was like, it was just like, there are plenty of people who are struggling in school, and they're possibly worse off than me. So I'm like, is there a better way?
Yeah. So you felt that people made assumptions about you based on your diagnosis. Or perhaps the diagnosis was an assumption that people were making about you. He's gone. Oh, well.
Strange.
There, he's back.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I might disconnect on occasion, but I'll be.
Yeah, that's all right. So what I was asking was whether you felt that people were feeling free to make assumptions about you based on their diagnosis or the perceived diagnosis, and you felt very boxed in by that.
Yeah. One thing I can definitely say
I'll see you on
I was pretty much treated like a freaking robot. I was pretty much treated like a robot. I wasn't even treated like a proper human being. It's just to say that there's still a lot of issues that go on in the system. And to be honest, looking back at it, as I said, I really think I actually just ADHD, and I didn't actually have as severe of a mental illness that they thought I had, when in reality I just simply needed time out the classroom. I just needed time to, get together with myself, and how bad it is to have ADHD and go to public school. But they just completely mishandled it. They literally thought I was going to suffer without all these treatments, and I'm like, oh my god, wow, like, what is going on, dude?
So once you came to a realization about what was going on, then you probably found it easier, and yet people were still treating you the same way.
I guess the add-on is also, I just got to tell you, at times it's a lag too, so I'm not sure if I.
That's okay. Okay, so let's. How about you, Mo? Do you feel like you had a aha moment when you started realizing?
I don't think it was really.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'll just say I think I'll be leaving just because, being on a phone is complete crap, but I think I've said enough.
Okay, that was great.
Yeah.
That was great stuff.
Yeah, thank you, and good
See you,
afternoon.
Jorge.
Yeah, talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon,
Bye.
Jorge Correa. I'm actually mimicking the Max Alex voice.
Okay.
But anyway,
Yeah.
back to our topic.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really. I think it was like. So where exactly do you guys want me to start? I mean, because I have there's just so much.
Yeah, I know. Well, we really, I feel like we have to sort of start from the beginning. I mean, our whole, the whole purpose of Catalyst is to think about the kids who aren't fitting in at school, who aren't doing well, who aren't interested, and just being kind of wasted. So
Not the drug sense.
when you are in that situation and you don't realize, you don't know that you shouldn't be taking this as a judgment on yourself. You are taking it as a judgment on yourself, and it's a pretty harsh judgment. So could you take yourself back to the point at which you were struggling with that?
Like one like before the BSS days, before school survival.
Right, exactly.
So before school survival, it was really, I was just pretty depressed. I was really, I was really, hating school just like everyone else. But I wasn't really having a sense that it was actually a problem with the system. I thought it probably is just a phase that everyone's got to go through and things like that.
Yeah.
So when I discovered well, yeah, that's basically before school survival, and I had actually been researching even before school survival why, like, questions. I've been just asking Google for no particular reason, like why kids hate school or why are kids failing math.
Interesting.
Yeah, I even found Nickel Goyle. I even knew about him even before school survival.
Huh.
Yeah, I was probably listening to one of his TEDx talks.
Interesting. What else did you find, like, when you were first looking into it?
Just like a lot of parenting.com things, like
right.
what to do if your child says, "I hate school."
Ah, yes.
Yeah, those things just have an awful habit of coming up.
Yeah.
But I think it was probably just one of my weird fits of asking Google when I heard, like, when I found school survival, the words "I hate school, it sucks, there's nothing wrong with you." That really kind of drew me in. I was like a regular guest on the forums. I was. Oh, and by the way, just is this being recorded? By the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just for in case someone happens to listen, I'm totally blind.
Okay.
Just thought I'd mention that. But anyway.
Okay.
So it was one of those times where I was probably just asking Google something. I can't remember what. It's been so long. And I was asking Google, like, things, and then I found school survival, and I kind of found it quite interesting because the whole anti-school articles, and I started realizing that there are problems with the system, and that there are people that are just like me who hate school as much as I do. But but I was constantly, due to the whole note-taking thing, I was just really trying to join the forums, which is where I was thinking where the whole survey came in. And when I took the visitor survey and got a response from Mr. Brendan here, Yeah, when I got a whole response, I really just I replied, and I'd actually at that point I'd kept a diary, and I've kind of found myself not exactly as in as much need for it as in as much need for the diary as much anymore.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, but yeah, and that is what has happened, and I was keeping a diary at that point. I was like and I was when I joined the school survival forums, I found that it was quite interesting to see that people were all there were people that were just like me who had the same problems as I did. And it was pretty liberating to me. It was like
Yeah.
I realized that there's more to me hating school than just it's just a problem that I just need to deal with. And then
So,
yeah,
yeah. No, go on. Go on.
you were about to say something, but I was going to go into
Well,
how
I
I
was
okay, go
I
ahead.
was just yeah no. I think I'm digressing into something else. Why don't you continue?
So, and it really was because I had the hopelessly outdated, as it's called in my blindness circle, fail note. Its real term, it's really the Braille note, but people call it the fail note because it's so bad. But anyway, so because I was having it, and it has so much problems and so many things that it just can't do, like it can't even do Hangouts, or it can't even do multi-person chat. Before, probably Brendan remembers this. Before the laptop, I was restricted to Google Talk,
Right.
and when Mark Poole, I'd like to thank him. When Mark Poole had offered me the laptop, I jumped at the chance, and it took a bit of bravery on my part. But I'd asked my parents for the laptop, if I could get the laptop, and they had said yes, and then that's when I got the laptop at that point. And I started joining Hangouts, and I started joining Hangouts with just people in general, mostly school survival people.
Yeah.
And I was joining Hangouts there, and that's pretty much what's been happening.
I'm curious about something.
Yeah.
You're a smart kid. Sorry, I always use kid. I don't mean it in a bad way.
Oh, don't worry. I've
You're a
heard worse.
smart young person, and pretty tuned in. And I've been wondering about the difference between people who are able to do well in school and people who aren't. And for me, it was a difference between someone who can get interested in anything you put in front of them and enjoy it, and the person who can't. And this is a difference in, it's not one smarter than the other, it's just, can you get interested in anything that's put in front of you? How deep is your curiosity? So something there's some element of the person who is not able to get into anything they put in front of you, and I don't know what it is. So when you're sitting in school and you're being given something to learn, and how do you respond?
Quote unquote learn.
Well, yeah, but I mean, there are people who do learn. There are people who get along with it, who are able to.
I just really don't handle it well. I start immediately falling behind. Right now most of my grades have been pretty bad. In fact, this year, as my intuitions was right in the summer, was one of my lowest years.
Yeah.
I was really failing practically everything, and oftentimes whenever I have an assignment just slapped in front of me, and they're expecting they go learn this or do this work, and it's really just another thing to slog through.
Yeah.
It's just another thing to just slog through and get done, turn in. Who cares?
Right.
And most of the time, I've been finding this has been increasing a lot. I find my days passing in a fog. Like I'm kind of like disengaged, probably thinking about my latest crazy audio app that I'm thinking of, and most of the time my days are just passing in a fog. I'm almost barely there.
That makes me think of what Jorge was saying about if you feel like you're not part of what's going on, you sort of become almost pathologically apathetic. And you've talked about falling asleep in class.
I have done that several times. Just like falling asleep. I've just like totally just been so tired. I fall asleep, and then of course sleep equals home.
Sleep is home.
Sleep equals home, basically.
I see.
Yeah, if they see you sleeping in class, they're immediately gonna just send you home.
Really? Oh, so you would.
Yeah, like if
So
it,
you would. That was a tactic.
It's less of an evasion tactic. I mean, even though I'm like most of the time when that kind of thing happens, it's like I'm legitimately feeling tired, but when I manage to get out, it's like, wee, it worked! I got out! Of course,
but that was supposed to be a punishment.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's more of a punishment. It's more like go home, get some rest, get back here later when you can be engaged.
Right. So at this point, you're just kind of checked out in the school.
Yeah, pretty much checked out. Really, just struggling to get by, just getting by. Basically, getting by. That's all that's happening.
So
and often here's another thing. Teachers praise me for good grades. Like sometimes I might turn in an assignment or two, and then they're all happy, like, "Oh, I'm so proud of you," and I openly, flat out tell them I'm not proud of it. And it's like they can't understand that concept. You're not proud of a grade? Like, you've got an A. You should be proud.
So what answer do you give them?
I'm like, I'm not. I flat out say I'm not proud of it at all.
They say why? What do you say?
I'm like, I don't care about the stupid grade. I don't measure myself that way.
Yeah. And
sometimes I find that I've been put in the study skills class where I can basically just work on things. And the teacher in there almost seems to not take my feelings seriously. The resource room, it's basically study skills where you can just catch up on stuff mostly.
So he doesn't take what you're saying seriously.
She actually. Yeah, often I feel like she's acting like it's just like she almost laughs at it. At least that's how I see it. I'm like, really?
I had the same situation as you, Mo.
Yeah.
You know, this teacher, she was like thinking that she was like a director or something like that. And she just started like, you just have to sit there. You don't do anything. You have to just sit there. I was going mad. I was going bonker. I was mad.
Yeah, and one of the things that just annoys me the most is when I try to express my feelings and then no one listens.
Ah,
So what kind of feelings do you try expressing in that class?
Like just my absolute resistance. Like I'm not gonna like hating school really.
I see. So I guess,
Well,
mm,
go on.
well, I
mm,
mean, one direction to go in potentially is then there's this whole thing of trying to get out of school. I don't know if we're going to try to cover that now, but that's a topic. Like talking to parents and siblings and like talking about actually leaving.
Yeah.
But Lisa, what do you think?
Well, yeah. I was thinking about this first podcast being about the situation that kids are currently in right now in school. Because I think that if we jumped right into, say, how to talk to your parents, for example, we're sort of skipping over the issue of why this is an issue. So I wanted to sort of do the introduction. How do we explain who we are, who this community is, and what's needed about it? What's needed about it, I've been thinking, is as Soulriser said, it's the landing point.
Yeah.
We need that point in which people will land there and say, "You hate school. School sucks. There's nothing wrong with you." And
Of course, school survival is kind of there already.
yeah.
right.
We have
So
the
how does
forum.
this? What does this do for these kids, and why do kids need it? Why do kids come to school survival and stay, or come and stay for a little while and bounce off and do something else? What is the function that we're serving? So that's why I thought of going into the moment at which people start to understand that this isn't a problem with who they are. It's a problem with school and the way school regards us as individuals.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
We're products on an assembly line to be sorted into, to be industrialized.
True.
Well, yeah, and beyond that, there's the experience. There's the experience as all of you together as a product of school, chugging out the conveyor belt. But there's also the individual experience. Each little widget being created is going through an experience.
But
Yeah.
that's like you're working about something and you don't have, you are not given money to. You're just hard labor. I think that school hasn't changed. Nor
I mean, out of all things to advance, I mean, almost, but not always, everything has advanced. Education is that one thing that just can't seem to move forward.
Yeah, but because the system is not like designed to go beyond that. That's like the system is going, but nothing happens. It's not updated. It's obsolete.
Yeah.
Yesterday's news, and that's why I think that is the situation. And just like today, my situation is worse because I try to write everything to update everything, computer stuff, but education, it's not going there.
At
Well,
least.
Mo, let me hear a little bit more about your state of mind when you were before you discovered school survival. I know you as a very curious young person, and you're constantly reading and you're constantly absolutely going into stuff that's of interest to you, but that just wasn't the people that the person that they were seeing at school. So talk a little bit about what your state of mind was like before that point.
I was actually, even before school survival, I was the same curious person, wondering about everything.
Yeah.
But schools were not seeing that. They were just seeing my failing grades.
Right.
And often I'm like, let's see, how could I word? So often I found that they were just seeing me as you're failing. And they would make all these comments about you're really intelligent, you're really bright, you're really smart, but you're failing, and we need you to pass your classes.
Yeah,
it's almost as if actual wonder is almost a side point.
Well, it happened also to me. Administration universities are so dull, people. You have to register to that state. You have to do this. You have to do that. You have to. People, come on! And I didn't know when was the time that I had to register. And you know what? Everybody's like came to me as I exit. The time is up. What?
Right.
And even my coordinator from my program that I go to in my university, she was like asking me questions. And I was giving the answers. I said, I don't know really what happened. There is miscommunication here. You just have to do this. Well, the thing is, same thing happens to everybody. And I just said, when I updated my status, because I'm also a school survival member, and I don't know how my situation will improve, really. It's going worse.
Just a question, what's your name on the forums?
Ilya.
I think he has the same name.
Yeah.
He goes under his own name.
Ah, okay.
So you would just say that you were okay, something was going on. You understand yourself as a smart person. The teachers understood you as a smart person, and yet that wasn't good enough. So,
yeah, they understood that I was a smart person, but a smart person, yet I was failing.
Right. So I mean, but this is it's such a far, how to describe it. We all accept the judgment of school.
Yeah.
So that made you feel a certain way about your capabilities and about your life, the direction your life was going.
Yeah, sort of.
So, yeah. So could you describe that?
I really wasn't really. People would say I was smart and yet I was failing, but I really wasn't the type to. I didn't really let. I wasn't really like. As soon as I was failing, then I'd beat myself up over it. I didn't really take their judgments to heart, like, okay, this obviously represents that I'm horrible.
You're not. Come on. You're not.
Well, I remember thinking, I just don't know why I can't do better. I don't know why I can't focus my mind on these subjects. My brother can, my sister can, but I can't. And I couldn't figure out why. I just knew that I can't. I just couldn't do it. And I think that made me judge myself as a bad student. So I did think, and until I was 40, I thought, I'm just a bad student. That's really all there is to it. I don't think I felt I was a bad learner. You know what I mean? So it would get to me when you're surrounded by kids who are doing well in school, and you are not. It does get to you.
Yeah, like I mean, you feel like it does get to you when all these kids who are doing awesome are being touted by the school.
Sure. Oh yeah. Teacher approval, adult approval. It's a potent weapon,
Yeah.
and that's really that. That says a lot about what the system does to kids, because I don't think adults. It's a weapon that adults play with, like you're playing with guns. You don't really know how you're going to hurt people, but you're going to hurt people.
Yeah, and just one thing about just another thing about my current classrooms, just a little side point.
Yeah.
The only time I kind of feel a little engaged is when in my history class, my teacher, Mrs. David, she would basically just like throw CNN student news and make us listen to that every day at the start of class.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is helpful, but I almost feel like she's not even caring. Like she's just randomly dumping the events and then expecting us to write a sheet about them. Like,
Interesting.
I'm highly doubting. I mean, something tells me she doesn't even look at them.
Well, that's really interesting, because when I started doing the What in the World hangouts, which we could keep on doing, what I was thinking about was just what in the world? Just pick something that's going on anywhere and sort of drill down and see what's happening and present it to the group. I mean, there's a whole world of stuff going on. So, but get to know it. Get to understand it. Get to understand the history of it, but
often,
but not because
she doesn't really devote any time to the event. She just lets us watch it, and then that's it. She in fact, this is what I mean. As if to make things worse, she almost devotes no time to it. It's almost like she doesn't even want to present it to begin with. Like she doesn't give a chance to even debate it or anything like that.
Yeah.
Have you asked her, or could you like, what is the purpose of it? Like, how does it?
I really haven't gotten around to that, but it's soon enough. I'm gonna pull her out and say, "Hey, you are devoting absolute." I mean, okay. I think I should. I wouldn't want to have that tone. that would sound a bit aggressive. I just like say, you seem to be
complete doofus.
Why?
Why?
Why are you just dumping every event? It's like you're making us listen to the CNN student news thing and expecting us to just write a sheet. You're not even devoting time to it.
Well,
what is the purpose of it?
To give the best possible spin, it's an exposure to a lot of different issues that are going on, and pick up on something, see if something sounds interesting to you, and then it's up to you whether you want to follow up on it. I mean, it's sort of understood that teenagers aren't interested in the news.
Oh, and by the way,
interested in BuzzFeed.
Oh, and by the way, most of the time I'm mostly either listening on headphones or just playing Tetris all day.
You're one of those?
Yeah, or chatting with a friend, on the school's newfound Wi-Fi.
Right.
That I'm serious. That is really most of the time what I'm doing, and I almost the classes that I'm most likely to get caught in are math and study skills, but all the others I could pretty much chat all I wanted. Or rather, all I want.
There was excuse me while I yawn. There was a video that Brenda and I were looking at of this. It was a series of 4 adults that were 1 parent and 3 teachers that reacted to their kids being on tech when they weren't supposed to be by smashing the phones.
Oh God! Oh.
It was. Elijah, you commented on that too. I think they should.
Yeah,
What you said was they
Not funny.
should have been arrested, and they
Yeah.
should. I mean,
Seriously.
come on. But the really disturbing part about it was a friend of mine who's a teacher posts a little heart under that video. I guess she felt that this was a point for the teachers.
Oh, come on. Seriously.
I do not put it past them. I'm having a big ongoing argument with a fellow school board member about whether tech time should be limited.
Apparently, you and Jesse Hargrove tend to argue a lot.
You've been there. You know who I'm talking about. That's funny. Yeah. Jesse and I accuse each other of missing the point.
Just, but I think I'd really want to. I think I want to just like hide under the door and listen to you guys fight.
Well, when we see each other in the middle of these fights, we see each other at school board meetings, and we do not mention it.
Okay.
We look at each other and kind of smile.
Blankly.
Recently, I asked him if he would join the special ed director search committee because he was a
is
special ed
Jesse
teacher.
Hargrove male or female?
Jesse's male. I told him that I didn't think anybody on our school board was qualified to select a special ed director, so I really wanted him to do it, and I think he was really surprised that I'd asked him to do it.
Anyway, back to this tech time thing. Anyway, back to tech time.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, back to how you were asking about how tech time should be limited or something like that.
Well, yeah, that's what we were arguing about. He's just saying it should be limited, and I was saying you're missing the point. and he said, you're missing the point.
You're missing the point. You're missing
the point.
You're missing the point. You're missing the point. Okay, anyway.
Everybody's missing the point from this situation.
So,
but yeah, what was the? We never gotten to figure out what was the. So you guys were basically debating about how if tech time should be limited.
Yeah.
What
I
came out of
don't
that?
even remember. I think he just stopped responding. I have that effect on people. He just kind of backed out of it. I don't know. He doesn't.
Most of my teachers, I find, don't embrace technology at all. They just, I mean, the only time they allow it out is when it's some call or it's just some cahoots thing. And that seems to be the only time that they embrace technology as a medium for learning. And I'm thinking the view that teenagers are just interested in sports and BuzzFeed or whatever, I just feel like that's somewhat stereotypical.
Well, there's something going on there. What the learning that's going on in the classroom isn't interesting. It's not that they're only interested in sports and BuzzFeed. They're just not interested in what's going on in the classroom. So we've created a stereotype around that.
Yeah, the stereotype that they can't be educated.
Yeah. Well, if learning was self-directed, if we gave students the time and the resources and the support to direct their own learning, once they stopped not believing us, once we established with them that they could trust that we really did want them to do whatever they needed to learn, then maybe it would take precedence over BuzzFeed and sports.
Although I've just noticed this in common. Have you ever noticed that no one in school, like practically no one in School Survival discusses sports?
That's really funny. Yeah. I have noticed that.
I mean, I absolutely don't follow sports.
It's rather a visual thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know. I don't even know what the lines are, or how you're supposed to, what a running back is, or how you're supposed to catch the football or whatever. Well,
We'll walk you through it.
okay, but yeah, practically,
Well,
sports just, I mean, on school survival isn't a topic. No one says, "Oh, hey, the New England Patriots lost to the Jets."
Yeah, yeah. And they don't do sports. They tend to not be involved with the athletes themselves because they're nerds.
I mean, I just don't find sports particularly enthralling.
Right. Right. So, Brendan, what else should we throw out for these people here for our topic?
I guess, well, one thing in terms of getting ongoing content, I mean, this is kind of a tangent, but it's related to what we were talking about, is if people ask their teachers, like, regularly, like, why is this, why are you doing this? What is this for? How does this fit into your vision for teaching? Why are you a teacher? Not in, like, in harsh judgmental ways, but I mean out of curiosity. That could provide some interesting material to work with.
Sometimes just a little side topic, sometimes I find that my crazy sense of humor is a bit of a coping mechanism.
Sure.
Sometimes I've been known for doing. I've been known for just randomly, as I'm going in, just flicking off the lights, plunging the room into darkness, and everyone's like, "Turn the lights back on."
Well, that's an assertion of who you are.
Yeah.
I'm walking into this room. I'm blind, so none of us can see. So there.
Yeah, it's like,
do with it.
And then I just go, and then I just like randomly will flick the light off, and then, hey, turn it on! Or whenever someone knocks at the door, I'll run over, password, and then I just open it anyway. But that is on a serious notion. That is a sort of coping mechanism.
Yeah.
It's more of a making the best of a bad situation kind of thing.
Do you distinguish between light and dark, Mo?
No, not at all.
You have not at all. Wow.
No, I don't. I don't have a concept of light, dark, color, or anything like that.
Wow.
I probably couldn't describe you. I'd probably imagine this Jello with 3 ears and and 3 heads or something.
It's really hard to imagine that there's no concept of picture, no concept of image.
Tough concept for a sighted. I've just noticed that it's a tough concept for a sighted person to wrap their head around.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But how do you wrap your head around the concept of what an image is?
It's really difficult. If you ask me, it's just really difficult. It's really hard for me to imagine what an image looks like. What is this whole look thing?
Well, but you build a picture. So
yeah, I can kind of imagine, my
school. You've built up a picture in your mind of the anatomy of your school, right?
Yeah. Yeah, getting around it. Kind of making a mental map of it.
Yeah.
But one thing is actually, many people ask about blind people's dreams.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Actually, like what are my dreams like? Basically, all 4 of my senses except no sight. And often when I imagine something, it's kind of drawing on what I know about other objects. Like, I can probably imagine what a car is like, but like if I'm dreaming about my neighbor's Ford Bronco, it's probably in my dream version of a Bronco would probably not be anything close to the original. One of the things that I've kind of been fascinated by is lucid dreaming. Being able to actually control a dream.
Huh. Interesting. So I'm going to change the subject. Have you gotten into any of that education stuff? The Nation at Risk?
Yeah, I do have that the PDF that I still haven't gotten around to reading because I've been so preoccupied with my crazy MIDI this new MIDI sequencer I just got. Yeah, I still haven't gotten around to reading. I do get the whole idea is a Nation at Risk was really the whole thing. It really woke America up, and America was really awakened by this whole notion that we're basically settling for this mediocrity.
Right.
By the way, I do know what that word means, just in case you thought of asking.
Mediocrity?
Yeah, it means not very good.
I assume that you know what that word means.
Mediocrity, the quality of state of being mediocre.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
Who has
Although
that?
the idea was that it's like, how do you assess what that even is? And the idea is test scores, right?
Yeah.
In a couple of subjects.
I'm trying to figure out how this PDF reader is supposed to work.
So what about the other stuff on that document that we made?
Oh yeah, the whole things to do document.
The do doc. Yeah.
Good
Those
thing I have
goals.
it here.
You were going to look into
Coding with Mr. Brendan here.
coding, and
I have gotten a Python Python. I did get that. No, we're not referring to the snake. I actually just accidentally discovered, while I was playing around with Python, is that it can be a calculator.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you just put in something like 3312 / and that's times 314, or actually that's divided by star, and if you just put that problem in, you just press enter and it would give you the answer. Found that to be pretty interesting.
You were going to also look into computer hardware and visually impaired accessibility industry as a place, for
one
you
thing
to...
I was actually, where's Eli? Just thought I'd ask.
Oh, Eli is fencing right now. He's poking people with swords.
Oh, that's interesting.
But he's a really good fencer.
Yeah, because what I was thinking of once when I was, how Eli had explained that there was a thermometer that would raise the fan speed when a laptop was getting too hot, or lower it when it was cooled off.
Yeah.
The question that I was thinking of asking is, well, what does that kind of electronic communication look like?
Well, I'm sure Eli would be able to answer that.
More kind of like, what language are they speaking? They can't just talk.
Well, you're at the end of my knowledge. Anybody else got any? answers for that.
Although I kind of got a clue that I think the BIOS probably handles it on some level. Dead air.
Dead air. I have nothing to add on the issue of temperature sensors.
Extraordinarily technical. By the way, I'm at 52 degrees Celsius.
Well, good to know.
Although I was at 59 or so a while ago.
Whoa.
Well, who was that? Who just said that?
Me.
Yeah, it can get pretty hot in my nice little Acer here. Come to think of it, I really should get around to probably cleaning out the fans or something.
Don't touch it.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
I remember the last time you fooled around with that machine.
That's happened a few times. Okay, I'll just leave it to collect and clog up the fans and then wait until it just becomes unusable. Okay, that'll be nice.
So, I don't know, maybe we can wrap this up for tonight. I've been posting the link in the chat all along, and both Kira and Siren told me that they couldn't come into the Hangout, and yet they've both been chatting.
Interesting.
Tells us what they think of us.
Well, I mean, one thing maybe to spend a couple minutes on before we wrap up is there is this whole question of talking to parents and parent reactions,
Right.
and I mean,
What I've basically
in a
figured
lot
out.
of ways.
Mind if I just say a bit about my situation? What I figured
Sure, go
out
ahead.
is my parents have this horrible habit of overgeneralizing. They basically think that based on their experiences, homeschool must be impossible, difficult, and going to school is easier because you have someone telling you what to do. Basically, they think if you're not told what to do, you just do nothing all day and rot and die.
But that just seems like, to me, like such a no-brainer to say, well, actually, that's not true, and this is why.
They seem
first of all,
that, I just feel like I'm just having a hard time expressing myself in those conversations.
well, just hand them a sheet of paper that says this is what you need to do to homeschool in the state of Michigan.
No, it's
Well,
not the
that's not-
legality. It's not the legality that they need convincing. That they really need to be convinced of. They need to be convinced that it's worth doing.
So what about explaining to them that like we or Catalyst can basically play that role of telling you what to do, basically? I mean, obviously we'd ask you what you want to learn and what you want to do, but then we could do whatever they perceive is necessary for someone else to provide feedback or guidance. Like if they understood
Can
that.
you send me the link to the website?
Sure.
Should I put it in the?
By the way, this is more personally meant for Brendan, but just thought I'd ask. So you know how I was having trouble with the whole the terms button? That was all about the terms that you had to agree to.
Oh,
When-
right, yeah.
Oh. I figured out the issue was that I had to put NVDA in focus mode, which is basically everything passes through, allowing you to interact directly with the control. So what I need to do in order to join Hangouts and not get annoyed by the please wait message, is to basically put it NVDA in focus mode so Chrome handles it directly.
Ah, interesting. Yeah, that's good that you made it past that.
What's the speed that you're listening to that stuff on?
Let's see. I think it's 97%. Voice settings
What?
dialog. Voice, combo box, American English, collapsed, Alt V. 97%.
I don't know what that means because when I have some my audiobooks, I set it once for 3 times.
Just thought I'd ask,
faster.
did Eli really install NVDA? It
Yeah.
seems like...
He's working on it.
Okay.
So, but when I listen to something on 3 times, it's 3 times faster. I'm barely able to hear it. So what does 96% mean?
97, actually, more.
But how many times faster is that?
The default is actually... The default is 50. 50%. This is the default.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the answer to that question is, like how that maps to an actual, multiplier.
Yeah, although it's actually usually twice. Like, I'm not sure exactly what you're trying to, like, how do you define? Where is the middle ground? Like default times something else, or?
I don't know.
Often
Often
I find though that sometimes it depends on the content though. If it's something like messages from my computer, I'd be able to breeze through it pretty quick. But if it's like a really, really long-winded scientific article with technical terms, I'll probably slow it down a little, just like down to 57%, so I can absorb the information.
If you were reading a novel, would you read it in a Braille printout version, or would you listen to it?
I feel like I can never get this across to my teachers. I really, really can't absorb. With Braille, I just can't absorb the information.
So you would rather listen to the audiobook?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I even speed up human narrators too. And Lisa Nielsen just came online.
She did? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just messaged me. I've been helping her edit.
Why don't we ever get to
the Wall
see her?
Street Journal. Well, I'll tell her to come in.
Come in, doors open.
We'll message her. By the way, I do like talking in the first person plural.
Yeah, that's a bit unnerving at times.
We are not amused.
I'll message her. Would you ask her if she wants to come in?
Tell her just for a minute to say hi.
Yeah, we might as well wrap up in a minute.
Yep. Although I've got it, like, often I find that when I hear someone's actual voice, it's kind of a more solid connection.
Do you know what, when I hear my voice on pre-recorded?
Yeah, it's like hearing your own voice is like just sounds strange. It just sounds strange.
Yeah.
Oh, answer.
I don't know how everybody's hearing me right now, but sometimes when I hear myself, I say, "Whoa, what am I? I'm sounding weird.
Yeah, your own hearing yourself reflected back is just sounds strange.
Yeah. On the last hangout, I just
She
on
was
the
fine.
recording,
Oh,
on
thank
the
you for
recording, and then it happened. I hear my voice and I say, "Wow, my voice has changed."
Ah. Something. She's playing something, from the looks of it. At least that's what we can gather.
What are you talking about?
Lisa Nielsen.
Oh yeah, she's talking to me about this Wall Street Journal piece.
Wow.
She's been struggling with this article for, I swear, 2 weeks. And the Wall Street Journal kept sending it back, saying it needs this, it needs that. And I think that they finally liked it. It's about how kids should be allowed to have tech in the classroom. And
Yes.
what tech can do in the classroom.
Although
and
it's
it
really,
just went through all these iterations.
I wonder that is it really, how much will tech in the classroom actually help though? Because as I posted in my thread on school survival, many solutions to the school problem actually don't help. Because I mean, I don't mean to say that she's like, she does want to put tech in the classroom. I really appreciate that. But, I just find that often if you just put a bunch of computers in the classroom, it tends to, it will become more of a distraction than anything else. It won't really be.
Sure. Well, I think that she would have a lot of answers on how teachers could be supported in changing their methods, but the best thing that computers support is student-directed learning.
Yeah. So what they're based on, I've had their IEP. I had the IEP, and what they're basically trying to do is next year they're going to, apparently they're going to try and turn the schedule around so I like it more. That's basically what they're trying right now. Wow, we're silent.
Yeah, no, I'm still trying to get Lisa to come into the hangout.
Silencio. It's so silent.
Dead air.
I'll bet you she doesn't, though.
But basically, that's what they seem to be trying to do right now, is make it so I still have to go, but...
Hear a little bit more about the
Whoa, what was that?
Pre-recording.
What extraneous noise did we just
Don't play my voice in the hangout. That was my voice, wasn't it? That's not funny.
Oh, I just can't help it.
That is not funny.
Okay, we're not laughing anymore. Oh, I thought you said it wasn't funny. That's new.
Yeah, I find most things funny. Well, I don't think she's going to come in, so we should wrap up. So, what is your next move with your parents?
So basically, Summer, what they're trying to do is basically, so I still go, but like I might like go to the career center across the street and like spend like an hour or two in school and then take classes online or something.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what they're trying.
That's not what you want. That's not what you want.
But I mean, it's really not at all. And really, I'm just technically I really want. So I think what I need to do, the next step will be to show them Catalyst.
Show them Catalyst, but let's flesh out your plan too. Let's put some more specifics into that plan. We don't need to do everything in the plan. This is just public relations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, it is worth showing them Catalyst and talking to them about that option. Like you can work with people who are going to work with you more directly and help you pursue your interests and develop the skills that will actually help you earn a living.
Yeah.
You will be able to get into a good college if that's what you want. I am sure of it, but not if you stay in high school. I'm equally sure of that. If you stay in high school, you're going to end up going to your local community college, which is fine, probably fine. But if
you
you
can also
leave
do that
school
without.
now, right. But if you leave school now and you get into a habit, a schedule of working on the things that interest you the most, then
By the way, strikingly.com just seems really
Yes.
weird.
Well, it's the template.
Strikingly amazing.
Right.
Yeah, but anyway.
You understand what I'm
P.S.
saying?
But P.S. How many people have actually
So she's on the
applied?
volleyball court and she's up in 3 minutes, so no, it's not going to happen.
Oh, well.
Okay.
Aww.
Anyway,
Wow.
so, Mo, if you would spend some more time in that document and
In what?
in the document,
Yeah.
fleshing it out, adding more specifics, doing a little research, and show you. I think the Catalyst website is in pretty good shape to show to parents.
Okay.
And it's pretty goes into a good amount of detail on what the program is like.
Okay.
What's the worst thing that could happen?
Like, what's the worst thing that could happen? Like, probably.
Worst thing is
Probably.
nothing, right?
Like, yeah, probably.
Yeah, I mean, the worst thing is they'd brush it off, and then it's like you got to continue trying different angles to explain how it can work and so on.
Oh, now it's cooled down. How's Rose? Rose Hassan.
Oh, I
I
haven't
don't know her.
talked to her in a while, actually.
Has she kind of been in her own world?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, and basically, just to clarify, I actually do have this whole network of blind friends.
Mhm.
You and Lisa, and both of you guys know about them because I
Yeah,
told you
well, I
about them.
just heard about him. I never knew that you
Yeah.
had a circle of friends.
It all started when I was in a Failnote chat.
Right.
And that's kind of how I had gotten into this whole group. We basically talk about anything. It's really like we sometimes like play around with singing synthesizers on Macs, or you might do a prank call or two, listen to a few Deck Talk reenactments of strange music. It could basically anything could happen.
So, do you ever discuss school?
No, not really.
Well, you might try that.
Might be interesting to see what they have to say about it.
It does come up sometimes.
You think that they basically get along with school?
I don't think it's more like I'm not really sure. Sometimes I think like what are you guys trying to do? Drag every single person I know into everything? Just saying.
I mean, it does probably apply to anyone who's in school. Like, I mean, a lot of people, have issues with it, or could if they started thinking about it.
But yeah, but sometimes they just like randomly come up with a few things, like some weird gym moment or just some bizarre thing that's happened. But they usually aren't don't discuss school in depth. It's mostly it's hilarious fooling around on Max or something, or talking about what they did the last night or something. Sometimes I just feel like I have like a lot of split personalities for some reason. Like I could switch from being like when I'm with them I might talk about some crazy prank call and start laughing, but I could quite easily go diving into Wikipedia articles or go and talk about serious topics or start entertaining everyone.
Well, I told you once on online on messages that what I'd love for you to do is get together I don't know how to make this sound like it's a non-school thing, but pull together your research on the nation at risk and see if you can trace the impact of that paper to the present day, and hold a broadcast hangout on it. And I think we could get a lot of people to show up because it's important and it's not something that people don't want to read the damn thing. So if you gave a talk about it,
good thing I'd actually saved this whole document called research results, which I had actually tried. Which I had, the link I'd posted, the link I had posted to that video, to the video.
Say that again? I'm sorry, Lisa is distracting me.
The video that I had posted a while ago.
Yeah.
I still have that, actually. I have a document called Research Results.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I still have that link.
Mm-hmm. People are telling me that I have to get rid of the picture of myself with a baby, which is on the Catalyst site. Lisa says I have to get rid of that shot.
Like, why that? Like, of all things.
I think that defines mother.
Like, what is that? What is supposed to be that demonic? What is the demonic symbolism of that?
I don't know.
but you should probably get rid of it because I'm not sure if that would exactly make the best. Like, I hope it's not plastered on the front page.
Well, it's just
yeah, there might be a better photo to use. I could probably come up with a better one too.
She's saying the site is very white.
Blank?
White.
Oh, white.
To me, it says that the white space is interrupted. Very white. What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
Right. Anyway, I guess
It's a website. It's
any crazy ideas for inside jokes?
No, not right now. I'm gonna sign off.
Okay.
Guys.
Although, come to think of it, inside jokes would probably not be a good idea anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, this is a serious site. And I mean, an inside joke about zombies
I see what you
would
mean.
really.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
No,
no, we're not gonna do that. This is a site for parents. All right, I'm signing off. Thanks a lot, guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
So, how is this